Disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. All use is made for fair use purposes such as criticism, comment, user reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that monopolizes the infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
At the beginning of the episode, we see that Shalu and all his friends go to the seaside together to celebrate New Year. They are sitting and sharing their wishes and what they want to do in the new year. Here, Shalu announces that he has finally made Shinjin his girlfriend after 10 years of friendship. Shal also tells everyone that he is going to Shanghai with Balin to study, but they are not happy after hearing this. Shalu then tries to convince his mom, who is also not happy with his decision to leave. Dad comes up with an idea to support her by catching mom for lying, but it seems that Shalu is not doing a good job at all. He scolds him a lot and decides to keep him at home, not letting him go anywhere. Hearing this, mom starts defending Shalu and agrees because she couldn't see her son being scolded. After this, Guang and Shalu work together. Guang explains to her how difficult it is to pass the college entrance exam, but Shalu tells him that Balin can help her in her studies. Then, they hear someone nearby. When they go to check, they see Chan secretly studying there. At the same time, Diba and others come to find Chan because he has been skipping work for a long time. Wang and Shalu let Chan hide there and Diba lies to them, saying they didn't see him. After they leave, they ask Chan why he is there and what he is doing. He tells them that he also wants to take the entrance exam because he feels that nothing is going to happen for him in the factory. He kept this a secret because he didn't want anyone to judge him as disloyal to the factory. Shalu supports him and says that both of them will take the exam together. On the other hand, we see that Shalu's mom calls Balin for lunch. She explains that she has always seen Shal having fun, but he has never gone against them. Today, Balin has come into his life, and now he is taking such a big decision just to go with her. Balin does not know him well, nor can she guarantee their relationship will be secure and that they will live together in Shanghai. However, Balin tells her that Shalu likes her very much, and she also likes him a lot. She is confident they will be safe together in Shanghai because he is a very smart boy with a bright future. After this, we see Shinjin and Guang, where Shinjin has decided to stay at his house. She tells Guang how big Fuching City looks from her room and how the city is growing. Guang then asks why Shalu is leaving his family and friends. Shinjin explains that he is doing this for Balin because he likes her and they should respect his decision. On the other hand, Shalu goes to pick up Jung's bike, where he gives some books to Balin to read and tells her that from now on, they will roam together on Jung's bike. Balin goes to study and Chan arrives, telling Shalu that the boss has kidnapped Guang. Shalu goes with Chan to save Guang, where Young is also present. The three of them have to fight many people, so they make a plan. Shalu goes to talk to Basu, who tells him that his brother's skating rink wants to be taken away, which is why they have kidnapped Guang. Shalu puts a condition before Saul that if he bows down and apologizes, he will release Guang. Saul starts bowing, but as he whistles, Young and Chan start firing colorful bombs inside the house. The smoke causes everyone to cough, creating a lot of fog. Taking advantage of this, Shalu goes out to save Guang, and they close the door and run away. They celebrate together, and Gang tells Shalu that if he leaves them to go to Shanghai, it will affect them because he is the backbone of their group. The three of them request Shalu to restart the idea of Milty's stall, promising not to make any mistakes this time. They just want to help Shalu settle down before leaving. They convince Shalu emotionally, and Shalu starts working very hard, studying for the entrance exam while also helping them run the military stall. The stall runs very well, and they earn money to support themselves. They plan a grand opening of the tea stall and start preparing for it, which causes Shalu to skip classes as well. Balin notices this and asks Zane where Saul has gone. But because Chan had to keep the fact that Shal is helping in the tea stall a secret, he lies to Bela that his mother is ill, which is why he is not able to come for classes. After hearing this, Bela goes to meet Shal's mom. Meanwhile, Chan also tells Shal that Bela is coming to his house, so Shal reaches his house before Bela arrives and locks his mother in a room before Bela comes inside. When Bela arrives, Shal lies to her that his mom has gone to the factory, but then Shal's mom comes out. Seeing this, Bela understands that he was lying to her, and she gets angry. Seeing this, Shal comes to stop her. She asks him if he does not want to go to Shanghai because he was not studying. Shal tells her that he was just talking to his friends and helping her because they needed her. Bela just leaves, telling him that she understands every decision of his and trusts him, so why did he hide this from her and lie? That night, Shal calls Bela, but she is so angry that he is unable to say anything and disconnects the phone. Later, Shal's mom and dad are talking in a bar, where his mom enjoys watching them fight. but she suddenly starts having a stomachache. Shawl's dad explains to her that she should not think wrongly about Shawl and Baylor and make fun of them. Shawl then comes out of the room and asks his parents for the money from his salary. The next day, he takes all the money to his boss and says that all his troubles happened because of Guang. He is paying the money for the loss so that Guang does not bother him. The boss takes the money and offers Shawl milk. As soon as Shawl drinks it, he realizes it is his company's milk. He sees many boxes of it lying around. When he asks, the boss tells the truth that all these were offered by Guang because he wanted Shawl to keep acting in front of Bela just to harass Guang, so that Shawl would leave Guang. Shawl gets very angry upon hearing this and goes to fight with Guang, accusing him of lying. Guang tells him that they had skipped their exams together and now work together in a factory. Guang did all this to stop him from leaving because of Bela. Shawl, unable to say anything, leaves and goes straight to Bela. He meets her and her friends at a restaurant, where Bela introduces him as her boyfriend. They order expensive foreign dishes, and Shawl orders a strange steak dish, which makes people laugh at him. Bela also orders the same dish to support him. As Shawl goes out to wash his hands, he hears the chef making fun of him for ordering such a dish. Shawl then overhears Bela's friends asking if he is a university graduate. Bela truthfully says they used to work together in a factory. Shawl feels uncomfortable and makes an excuse to leave. Bela follows him out and tells him it's her first time in such a restaurant too, suggesting they go eat her favorite fish balls instead. They happily leave together. Bela feels she was forcing Shawl too much, so she explains he can stay with his family and friends if he wants, but Shawl insists on staying with her and working hard to study. Just then, Chan arrives and tells Shawl that Guang is in trouble again. Shawl thinks Chan is making it up, but he pretends to go with him. When they reach Carrie's bar, they meet Mr. Ho, the girl whom Zhang saw and ran away from at the Mid-Autumn Festival party. She tries to talk to Shawl, but he thinks it's all part of Guang's plan and starts scaring her. But Mr. asks him to sit down and tells him that she knows his cousin Jiang. Guang was selling milk outside his club, so they caught him and will free him only when Jiang comes in front of him. Shelo tells her that Jiang has gone to jail and will come out after 5 years. Mr. then says that it's okay, so she will release Guang after 5 years. Hearing this, Shalu goes to the jail the next day to meet Jiang and tells him everything. Jiang tells Shalu about a metal box of his and says that maybe if she gives it, Mr. will agree to his words and release Guang. He also starts asking her who that lady is, but Jiang doesn't tell her anything clearly. After this, Shalu takes the metal box to Mr. Ho. When Mr. opens the box, there is a white scarf in it. Seeing it, she tells Shalu that when she was 15 years old, Jiang had given her that scarf and saved her from some goons. After that, she started living with him. He had promised to marry her because they loved each other very much, but for some reason they had a fight. She got trapped in this and instigated a boy too much, so he ran away to Hong Kong alone and left her alone in Fusing City, which made her very angry with him. However, here, Shalu clearly tells her that Jiang did not run away alone because he did not need her, but because he wanted to keep her away from all these problems. After hearing this, Nista forgives him. She now invites Shalu to a party at Carrio's where everyone enjoys themselves. She offers that if Shalu proves his sincerity by drinking all the drinks in one go, she will buy Guang's milk and sell it in her career, making him a business partner. Because when Jiang used to drink, no matter how much he drank, he wouldn't get drunk, and Shalu had to prove that he is Jiang's cousin. So he drinks the entire drink for Guang, and Mista accepts the deal because he was Jiang's cousin. After this, Shalu and Guang come out, both very drunk and having forgiven each other. Shalu tells Guang that he will save her this time too. Guang is sad to hear this and still wants to leave, but finally she agrees. After which we see that Guang was very drunk and goes straight to Balin. He asks her to take him with her. Balin pretends to drive a boat like a captain, and Shalu kisses her. The next day, Balin prepares breakfast for Shalu, but the breakfast is not good at all because she didn't know how to cook properly. Shalu can't even tell her this, so he promises that when they go to Shanghai, they will have a good breakfast there and both start planning many things to do in Shanghai. He also tells Balin that when Zhang was arrested, he had no idea what he would do without Zhang, but Balin supported him, and then Shalu understood what to do next in life. He started working hard again and gradually improved so much that he started topping the weekly tests. He was completely sure that now they would pass. On the other hand, we see Xinjian and others looking at Guang. He was very happy because he had finally settled his house. She notices that Guang's mood is a little upset and asks him why he is sitting like that. He tells her that if he tells her the truth, she will definitely get angry. Jiang then tells her everything about how he signed the confession letter on Ding's request and sent Jiang to jail. Hearing this, Xinjin gets very angry at him. It comes that Olu and Zhang treated her so well, but she betrayed them, and she angrily throws her out of here. After which we see Xiaolu finishing her work early in the warehouse because today is her last day in the warehouse. It was the day and he had to prepare for the exam, but then he saw that the director was yelling at Ding Chan because he just wanted to study and go abroad. Ding starts telling him here that he is like a parasite for the factory. Chan becomes very sad to hear that no matter how much he studies, he will not be able to do anything. But Elle comes here to take care of him. Jad Ding refuses to involve him in everything and he has everything that he wants. Seeing the bike, he says that no matter how much he shows off, one day he will fall on the ground, hearing which Xiaolu also challenges him that he will wait to see what happens to him. After which Chan now tells Xiaolu that if he does not study, he will not be able to do anything for his sick mother and Young will also never like him. Young also listens to all the things and she quietly keeps the tiffin outside and leaves from there, where Xiaolu explains to Jan that he is not a parasite because he has worked very well in Factor for so many years and he motivates Chan to keep studying. After which, when his eyes fall on the tiffin kept there, he understands. On the other hand, we see that when Ding was having food in the canteen, Young serves him a common dish which other people were also eating, so he starts objecting to Young. Because of this, she comes out in front of everyone and shouts and tells everyone how much of a cheater she is because every year, whenever ration comes for the kitchen in the factory, she keeps some items aside to take to her home, due to which there is a shortage of things inside the factory. Hearing this, everyone there was surprised, but because Ding's truth was coming out in front of everyone, he calls the security guards and asks them to take Young out. Then Chan and Saul also come there, but they come and stop him from fighting Ding. But Young was about to hit him in the head with a pan, but Chan intervenes, due to which he gets hit, after which he has to go to the medical room. Here he was very happy that Young took his side for the first time here. After which we see that Xiaolu is having lunch with his mom and dad. He was very excited when his mom comes but tells him that she is going to Shanghai. This time his factory has only one slot, which he is very surprised to hear. He thinks, how can this happen? Because every time he used to get 4 to 5 slots, now he has to leave from here immediately with Secretary Hung. He goes to meet him where he doesn't find him but meets the secretary. He tells Xiaolu that all this has happened because of Xiaolu because she did not listen to him and says that it is impossible for him to escape from this factory. Where Xiaolu is not able to understand his words because he was behaving very strangely and was very quiet, but now poor Xiaolu goes to the seaside in sadness where he was only thinking that Beilal does not have freedom here. Can get it because here he will have to face people like Ding. Bayala had only one dream to go out and study. Xiaolu wanted that no one should share that spot with Bayala, not even herself. Not wanting to come in Balin's way, the next day he again goes to meet Balin, where he had prepared steak for him, which was good this time. Here Xiaolu starts talking to him a little seriously, asking if he gets selected. If not, then will Balin wait for him next year, and will she be able to live in Shanghai without him? To which Balin laughs and tells her that he will definitely pass, and now the exams are coming closer. When Balin was about to go for her exam and Xiaolu comes to drop him to the board when Balin tells him only one thing, that she has to work hard and give the exam, so he kisses her here and says goodbye, and now Balin goes to give the exam. From here we see a scene of 1 month later. Balin had come back from Fuqing. Zhao checks the scoreboard outside the factory and Balin's name was on the top of it. Chan is also present there, but he got very less marks. So Balin asks her to give the exam again next year, and now she checks the entire list but she does not find Xiaolu's name anywhere, which she finds quite strange. She goes to find Xiaolu, who was watching a movie to hide from Balin, but when he comes home at night, Balin meets him outside his house. She asks him why he did not give the exam. Then Xiaolu starts making the excuse that he was very drunk before the exam, so he forgot to write his name on the paper and he did not remember anything, but actually Xiaolu had given the exam very well and he did not write his name on the exam because he knew that if he passed, then perhaps the factory would send him Shanka in Balin's place. But Xiaolu did not want to tell this to Balin at the moment because he did not want Balin to feel as if he had stolen Xiaolu's spot. But because he lied to Balin here that he was drunk and she did not have to give the exam, Balin gets angry and leaves from here. After this, she packs all her stuff with Dom, because now she was going to Shanghai. She leaves some of her belongings there, and when Qinchuan asks, she tells that she wants to leave some of her memories here. Then Xinjun asks her if she will forget him too, then Balin says that she is his very good friend. She will never forget him and will call him even after going to Shanghai. Then here both of them make fun of each other and also become very emotional, after which Balin leaves the factory with her things and everyone knows about her here. They were talking a lot of bad things, but now it doesn't matter to her because she was leaving from here. Next, we see that Xiaolu was also very sad, where both of them were sitting together and having a drink. Guang explains to Xiaolu that his fact was that he could not go to Shanghai, which Xiaolu also accepts that staying in the future is not so bad, but still he decides to give the exam next year. After this, they start talking about their friendship, where Shal says that he is very heartless to leave a good friend like Guang. Hearing this, Guang feels a little guilty and tells Shal that he gave a fake confession at Ding's request and sent Zhang jail. Dia and Xiaolu also had to face such a big problem. Hearing this, Xiaolu gets very angry. He beats Guan a lot because he and Zhang considered him like their own brother and he betrayed them. On the other hand, we see Yang. She was very sad and wanted to cry after seeing her dad because she felt that perhaps Xiaolu was also going to Shanghai, and for whom would she cook and make tiffin. The scene now comes to Guang, which is going to Qinchuan. He comes and tells her that he told everything to Xiaolu the truth, and now he will never forgive her, nor will he remain her friend. Seeing whom she is so sad, she tells him that she will always be with him, and she will also refuse to Xiaolu. Lenge, don't worry, where he gets sad and starts telling her many things, but then a huge explosion occurs inside Fuching City. But in reality, it was an explosion in the boiler room of the factory due to the earthquake, which was the reason. Everyone comes out of their houses and runs away, but Olu alone takes his bicycle and quickly goes to meet Balin, where he sees that Balin was still inside the boat. She was drinking too much. Xiaolu asks her if she is not afraid of dying, then Balin refuses him, and they both start kissing each other, where Balin says sorry to him because he disturbed her by coming into her life and he forced her to come to her world, whereas Xiaolu has a different world. So she tells Xiaolu that they will have to separate and go back to their own world, where they both kiss each other once again. Now the next day, as soon as Xiaolu opened her eyes, Balin had left for Shanghai. He quickly ran to the boat to say goodbye to her. But by then she was already sitting inside the boat. He could not even say goodbye to her properly, but on requesting the captain of the boat, he gets a song played inside the boat for Balin, after listening to which she became very emotional. Here she also hears the voice of Xiaolu, who was standing on the shore calling her, but she is not able to do anything because now she is going away and gets very emotional and says goodbye to him from a distance. Now here we are shown that Balin has arrived at Shikai, where she meets Professor Wang, who congratulates her for being selected into Shikai, where he asks her why and where she came so early before the semester started. When she is staying at the university, she tells them that she has studied at a place and she just wants to study well. Then the professor reminds her that her personal file has not yet reached the university, so she may have a problem in taking classes and hostel admission. So she should contact the factory as soon as possible and get her file. Then Biner now calls Xinjun and asks about the file, on which Xinchan says that his file was there in advance a month ago. But it should have been reached, and this work is actually handled by Director Ding, so why has his file not reached yet? Xiaolu overhears these words, seeing which Xinjun asks him whether he will not help Balin, to which Xiaolu does not answer and walks away because he wasn't talking to Balin. But we see that he takes an axe and goes straight inside Director Ding's office and starts looking for her file there because he knew that Ding must have withheld Balin's file to harass him. Where the security guards also try to stop him, but he was checking the file everywhere. When Ding and Mr. Hung also come there and talk to Balin, he says that he will check the office every time of the day because it was his responsibility to deliver Balin's file. But even after checking a lot, Xiaolu does not find his file anywhere, seeing which he was quite surprised. So he tells Dango that he will definitely be taught the lesson of this mistake. But on the way out, Xiaolu meets the secretary, who tells Xiaolu that if he wants the Balin file, then he should come to the restaurant in the evening and meet him at 8 p.m. After which Xiaolu meets the secretary, who gives him Balin's file and tells him that Ding gave this file to Director B because he wanted to stop Balin from getting admission. Xiaolu asks him why he is helping him, where the secretary tells him from his heart that he has always obeyed his dad and followed him, but in the end, his dad cheated him and his mom. He feels very jealous of Xiaolu. He always wanted to be the one who can do whatever he wants. Now for the first time, he obeyed his heart by stealing this file from his dad's office so that he can help Balin. Hearing all these things, Xiaolu also joins him and cheers and tells him that he is going to be transferred very soon, so now he wants to become a good person. After which Xiaolu gets up and leaves from there. Some girls were talking about these people here. She was listening where she starts talking about him, that he is very good. Hearing which, he comes up to her and asks if he is so good, then will she marry him? Hearing this, the girl starts saying it seems that he is not conscious yet, but after hearing this, he starts laughing because whatever he had done till now was without being conscious, and now finally he had come to consciousness. The next day, we see Balin when she was waiting for someone outside the university office. A lady comes there and Balin asks her for some time because her file had not reached there yet. The lady tells Balin that they will follow the rules, and if her file doesn't come till evening, then she will have to try next year. Hearing this, Balin gets a little sad, but then the lady comes back down and tells her that some boy has just arrived and given her file to the office. Hearing this, she understands that it must be Shalu, so she goes to search for him, but Shalu was running away and hiding, but she stops him. She tells him that she came from such a distance to give him the file. From here, she takes him to her rented room, where Balin gets her suitcase removed with a shovel, and the suitcase falls down. Hearing its sound, the landlady comes there. When Shalu goes, she hides inside the bathroom. The lady asks Balin to make less noise in the house because her nephew was also in school and studying for exams. She also says that she knows that there is some boy in her room, so now Shalu has to come forward where he starts acting of being sick. Then Balin tells her that he is her younger brother who has come to Shanghai for his treatment. Seeing him sick, the landlady leaves from there. Both of them then go out for a walk and are sitting and eating Shanghai's famous fast food when Balin asks Shalu to stay there for a few more days so that she can take him to other places. But before he can turn around, another uncle comes there and asks Shalu to click his photo. Now when he clicks his photo, he also asks Balin and Shalu to click a photo together and says they are sure that she will mail those photos to them later. Then Balin tells Shalu that after the arrival of those photos, she will also send them to Shalu so that she can remember the memory of her wedding, because now when Shalu will be there, even she didn't know that he was going to come. Then Shalu says that he wants to stay in Shanghai for a few more days because Balin wanted to take him to Shanghai. Hearing this, she becomes happy. The next day, Shalu helps Balin to get shifted in the hostel. One of Balin's friends asks her if Shalu is her boyfriend. Then she says yes, but Shalu refuses because he felt that Balin's image will be down because of him there, but she was not thinking anything, after which Shalu calls her home. Her mom was shouting at her, asking when will he come back, because he had suddenly left without informing her. So Shalu tells her to stay in Shanghai, and that he wants to find a part-time job and study along with the job so that he can give the exam again and pass, because he did not want to work in the factory. On which his mother starts saying that he is doing everything only for Balin. Shalu tells his mother that he had gone to Shanghai only for Balin, but when he saw there, he understood that he too can do something in his life, and one day she can also bring shame to those people who do not say anything to her mother. After listening to her, she just asks her to work hard because she could no longer stop herself from living in the same dilemma. She had also become very emotional, but Shalu's daddy takes care of him here. After which we see that Shalu gives interviews in many companies there and is quite nervous, but he was trying his best. However, no one would give him a job without any certificate, etc. Due to which he was very upset. On the other hand, when Balin was talking to Xinjian because he had sent some items and snacks for her, she also says that now Shalu has also come there, so whatever happened between them was a misunderstanding that might have been resolved. But Balin did not know about it, so Xinjian tells her everything about why Shalu did not give the exam. She becomes very emotional after knowing this. When she reaches home, she sees that Shalu was working for her. She tells him that Xinjian has told her everything, that Shalu sacrificed her exams for Balin. She now gets emotional and hugs him and refuses to hide anything from now on. She says that they will share all their problems with each other and solve them. Then Shalu also tells her his heart's feelings, that he is very scared because he felt that he will not be able to survive in Shanghai. But Balin explains to him that this will not happen and that they will do something. After which we see that Mr. Ne and Chan are having lunch together. Seeing so much food, Chan asks him what is going on with Yan. Mr. Ne tells that ever since Shalu has gone, she has been learning so many new dishes for him so that when he comes back, she can feed him. Only then does she also come and sit at the table and eat her own food. After tasting the food, she says that it is not cooked well at all, and neither is Shalu here, so who will eat her food? Then Chan starts eating all the food quickly in front of her and tells her that he will always be with her. On the other hand, Shalu's mother was preparing some good luck evenings and was writing wishes for Shalu so that she should come back home soon, because her mom and dad were missing her a lot. But suddenly she starts having a lot of pain in her stomach, so Dad asks her to go to the hospital, but Mom refuses and says that she does not want to waste her money on hospital bills. We also have to think about Xiaolu because the factory was no longer covering her medical expenses. And here, even though she was angry with Xiaolu, in her mind she was worried about him a lot. After which we see Xiaolu, who is in the hotel. He goes for the job of an electrician, but they reject him because he does not have the certificate. But as soon as the manager comes to know that he is from Fujing City, he agrees to hire him because he is also from the same city. Xiaolu is very happy now that he has a job. He sneaks up to Baylan's room and gives her the good news that he got the job. Baylan also tells him that she also got a part-time job in a fashion company. They have found a job so that after saving money together, they can rent a good house and live together. Xiaolu now goes and sleeps here with Baylan, and he starts imagining how he will buy a house opposite to her hostel and also adopt a puppy so that whenever Baylan feels hungry, he will cook food for her and the puppy. They will live together happily and watch TV. After planning all this, both of them become very happy and talk like this as they go to sleep. We see that Xiaolu gets a job as a doorman in a hotel. He is learning there with his partner how to greet everyone so that he can get extra tips. When a girl comes to ask Xiaolu for directions, he explains everything to her very well in English, which makes her happy, and she gives a tip to Lady Xiaolu. Seeing this, her partner is a little surprised and he asks Xiaolu where he learned English from. He tells her that it was taught to him by his girlfriend. On the other hand, Baylan Bu is modeling for that fashion store, and her photographer, who happens to be her friend, tells her about another assignment. He says that the assignment may be a bit tough for her because she will have to wear short clothes, but she will get good money for it. However, Baylan refuses to do it, on which he gives her time to think about it. Later, we see that Baylan and Xiaolu are coming home after finishing work. They see a restaurant whose name was made by combining their names, so Xiaolu tells her that he will treat Baylan in the same restaurant, but she explains to him that they should go home and have dinner because the restaurant was very expensive. Xiaolu promises her that he will definitely take her there on her birthday. The next day, we see that Xiaolu is working in a hotel. When he saves a businessman from spilling goods, the businessman offers her a milk tea of his brand and tells her that he is organizing a food exhibition program in this hotel where some brands will be selected for marketing. Hearing this, she gets an idea. At the same time, she calls Xinjian and asks her to bring the milk tea made by him there and present it there so that they can increase the sales of their milk tea in Fuching City, as well as in Shanghai, because his ideas were unique and his tea was also very good. But Xinjian asks Xiaolu why he doesn't tell this idea to Guang himself, on which she says that he doesn't want to talk to her, and he shouldn't tell Guang that she told her about this exhibition. After which Xinjian meets Guang and tells him about the exhibition that is going to be held in Shanghai. Guang also agrees to go there, hearing which Xinjian starts laughing and gets upset. She starts telling her that she knows that he wants to meet Xiaolu, but Guang pretends as if he does not even want to see Xiaolu and is going there only for his exhibition. After this, we see that when Baylan comes home at night, her landlord stops her and says that she knows that Baylan has kept Xiaolu hidden inside the room for a long time. She also sneaks him in there at night, and he is not her brother, he is her boyfriend. She understands everything. After hearing this, Baylan says sorry for lying to her, but the landlord was not bothered by this. She just explains to her that if they will not be able to stay here like this for long, then they will have to find some other way to stay here. Xiaolu was also standing there listening, and now because they needed more money to stay here, the next day Baylan goes inside the same fashion store and agrees for the assignment. She goes there where there were many other girls who were wearing short dresses, but she agrees to compete with them. The next day, when Xiaolu was working in the hotel, she saw Baylan in a short dress on a poster. He quickly runs to remove it. Meanwhile, he collides with a hotel guest who shouts at him. Then the manager comes there and asks Xiaolu to clean the guest's shoes because he had made them dirty, and also says sorry. Due to this, Xiaolu gets insulted a lot here, but he is unable to do anything. When the hotel guest leaves by throwing a tip at Xiaolu, Xiaolu bows his head and picks up the tip. This is seen by Xinjian and Guang, who had come there for the exhibition. Now Guang requests Xiaolu to forgive him and go back with him to Fuching because he feels that Xiaolu is seeing a good world here and her life is becoming very useless. Guang also says to Baylan that she is living such a good life by modeling here, while Xiaolu is becoming a doorman because of her. Hearing this, Xiaolu gets very angry at him. The hotel manager comes there to call Xiaolu, but Guang starts telling the manager that he is a guest of the hotel and he has brought Xiaolu here. Guang gives the manager money and asks him to clean his shoes to make him feel how it feels to bring down someone's self-respect. However, Guang asks Shawl to clean Shawl's shoes. Shaw refuses to do all this, and there is a bad mood between them, which causes Guang to get angry and leave. Shaw explains to Xinjin that she is afraid Guang will tell everything to her mom. Xinjin gives some money to Xiaolu and apologizes, saying that Guang does not think badly of her, it's just the way he speaks. After this, Xinjin also leaves. We see at night that Xiaolu is a little angry with Balin. He tells her that if he had known Balin was doing something like this, he would never have let her go there. Hearing this, she says nothing. The next day, we see that Shaw's colleague offers him a camera at a very low price because he had won it in a game. Vavlu buys the camera from his first salary because it was Balin's birthday, and he wanted to gift her the camera so she could learn to click photos, and also click Balin's photos. After this, Xiaolu goes to work and Balin passes by her with the same photographer inside the same hotel, but they are unable to see each other. Balin now meets a man named Mr. Huang, who offers her a photo shoot for a jewelry advertisement, but she refuses, saying her boyfriend does not like her modeling. She rejects the offer, even though it was a big one with a lot of money. She waits for Xiaolu outside the same restaurant where they were going to go on her birthday. When Xiaolu arrives, Balin changes her plan, and instead of going to an expensive restaurant, she prepares noodles and eats them together at home. Xiaolu gifts her the camera, and she is very happy to see it. Xiaolu tells her his plan to start photographing people so that he does not have to work as hard and can earn more money. Balin, however, does not want him to work so hard and explains that he should also focus on his studies. Xiaolu asks her to have faith, and they both click their photo together. The next day, while Xiaolu is working in the hotel, the manager and the police come to investigate. They tell Xiaolu that a guest's camera was stolen from the hotel and that the camera was last seen near him. Xiaolu is shocked because he had that camera. He tells the truth, that he bought it from his partner. When they investigate the other boy, they find out he has run away from work, hence the blame for theft falls on Xiaolu. Due to this, he is fired from the hotel, and the police take him to the station, where he repeatedly says he did not commit theft, but no one trusts him. Further, we see that when Balin attends her class, she learns that Mr. Hung is her guest teacher. He shares his camera theft incidents. Balin then realizes that the camera given to her by Xiaolu actually belongs to Mr. Hung. At the end of the class, she requests Mr. Hung to take back her case because Xiaolu is a good person and would go to jail despite being innocent. Hung refuses to help her. Balin then offers to shoot the photo for his advertisement for free and asks him to take the theft blame on his head. In return, he has to release Saul. Hung agrees. Xiaolu comes home, where Balin had prepared noodles for him, but he gets angry with Balin because he did not steal and Balin still took the entire blame on herself. Xiaolu blames her, saying she was not like this earlier. When she was in Fuching, Balin always fought for the truth. Balin explains that they are in Shanghai now, not Fuching, and she does not want Xiaolu to do the job of a doorman. Xiaolu understands that Balin feels embarrassed about her job but says nothing. They both cry and eat food together. The next day, when Balin goes to the university, her name is on the notice board for action against her because she had taken the theft blame and broken the rules. When she reaches home, Xiaolu is not there. She finds a note from him saying he does not want to create more problems for Balin. He came to make her life better but messed it up. He is leaving her forever and will never come back into her life. Balin starts crying after reading the note. We see that Xiaolu has gone to Fujing City. Everyone was looking for him because he had neither reached home nor was he on Jian's boat. All his friends were looking for him because his mom was sick and they needed Xiaolu. Then they saw Xin Yang and Guang skating. He meets her in the rink where he was drinking. Guang tells him that his mom is admitted to the hospital. Hearing this, he quickly leaves to meet his mom. On the other hand, we see Sha's daughter talking to the doctor. We learn that Xiaolu's mother was suffering from pancreatic cancer. She had very few days left to live but could be saved with surgery, which required a lot of money. Xiaolu's dad says he will definitely collect the money by talking to the factory about insurance so they can do the surgery soon. Xiaolu's mom overhears this conversation. When Xiaolu arrives, his mom is very happy to see him. However, Xiaolu doesn't tell them anything about what is going on in his life. He lies, saying he was going to bring Balin, but she is very busy with her studies and could not come. His mom sees through the lie and understands there was a fight between them. She tells Xiaolu she will not get her surgery done because they do not have enough money and the factory is not covering her medical expenses. Xiaolu is shocked to hear this. He goes to talk to Mr. Hung and asks why they are not giving money for his mom. Director Ding arrives and starts yelling at Xiaolu, claiming that his mom and he are lying and always break the rules to pretend to be sick just to get money. Hung also gets angry and asks director Ding to leave. When Ding doesn't, Hung kills him himself. Hung then leaves for the hospital to meet his mom. Shalu's daughter is standing outside the hospital room. She tells Shalu that he had come to Fujian many days ago. So why didn't he come home? He tells her that he just wanted to be alone for some time. Dudu then tells him that she knows Shalu wanted to be alone because he did not have a wife with him and he did not go back to the boat because it had memories of him and Balin. Similarly, he didn't feel like going home because there were many memories of his mom there. They start discussing how they will collect the money for his mom's surgery. When they get home, they find some money from home savings, and Shalu's dad explains to Shalu that his mom talked to Mr. Hung. Shalu has been assigned a job in the security department at the factory, so now Shalu has to focus only on this job and his mom will be fine after the surgery. Dad becomes emotional but asks Shalu to smile too. The next day, Shalu is at his job. He sees a man leaving the factory gate without checking, and the senior guard yells at Shalu to concentrate on his job. He then takes Shalu to Tier Ding because a stray dog had entered the factory and bitten Ding. They are told to catch the dog and drive it away. Some workers make fun of Shalu, saying that a dog bite can cause rabies, a dangerous disease. Ding shouts at them and asks them to work. Everyone tries to catch the dog, but it runs towards the skating rink. Shalu also comes to catch it and tells it not to be afraid as he won't bite. Meanwhile, Ding is keeping an eye on Shalu. Mr. Nu catches Ding and warns him that if he harms Shalu, he will expose Ding's wrongdoings in the factory. Ulu, then Saul, is in the skating rink looking at Balin's poster. He feels like he is talking to the dog and shares how he doesn't know what he is doing in this world anymore. He decides to adopt the dog and names it Lucky, a name he and Balin had chosen for a dog they planned to adopt when they stayed in Shanghai. Now Shalu starts taking care of Lucky alone. In tries to talk to Shalu, offering to cook something good for him, but Shalu refuses, telling her the truth that Chan used to eat the food she cooked, and Chan liked it, not Shalu. In becomes very emotional and tells Shalu that he has changed a lot and he is not the same as he used to be with them. She goes and fights with Chan, thinking that the letter he wrote was to make Shalu mad. Chan doesn't get a chance to explain, and he feels very sad as he didn't want to see Young sad. Shalu goes to find Lucky and finds the dog with a badly injured leg. He takes it to the medical room to get medicine and imagines Balin there, thinking she could have fixed Lucky in a few seconds. However, the senior doctor tells Shalu that due to the poor performance of the factory, employees' medical expenses are not covered. Shalu angrily takes away all the medicines and leaves without anything to treat Lucky. Hearing this, Shalu takes Lucky home where Guang is waiting for him and tells Shalu that he came to make him a partner in his business. But Shalu refuses him, so he just tells Guang that he should not think about Bailan and should move on because she must be living comfortably there. On the other hand, we see from Bailan that recently she was expelled from the university. That is why when she comes back to ask for a job from that photographer, she tells him about her condition. The photographer says yes to finding Bailan. Meanwhile, when Shalu goes to the hospital, she sees her dad requesting the doctor for more time to collect the money, and she feels very bad seeing this. After this, Shalu now tries to arrange some money by contacting Missa. He does, but she was out of Fuching at the time, so he can't talk to her. Then Chan comes to call Shalu because he was called by Guang. So he goes to meet Guang, where Zhang's friend is also there. Now Shalu, who was helping Guang in his business, borrows some money from Guang for his mom's operation. Guang also agrees to give him the money and says that he will definitely help him. If Shalu wants, he can also come into his business, but Shalu refuses and just takes the money and goes to the hospital. Afterward, we see Guang drinking too much. Chim Jawan comes there and asks Guang where he got so much money from because he knew that Guang did not have that much money to give to Shalu. So he tells him that Ding had forced him to do all this, and the money was actually for the factory's insurance. Ding had invested it for his own profit and could have been useful for Shalu's mom. Similarly, for quite some time now, he has been using the money for himself by tampering with the factory's account book. When Guang went to borrow money for Shalu's mom, Ding introduced him to a boss who could lend him the money on interest, half of which Ding was also going to get. But Ding ultimately trapped Guang in the debt by saying that if he didn't pay back, he would be in danger. Hearing this, Shalu starts crying because the people Guang was stuck with were very dangerous. The next day, we see that Shalu's mom's surgery goes well. When she went there, Shalu comes to meet her in the hospital and tells the truth to Shalu that Guang had borrowed money from some dangerous people for her mom's operation. Hearing this, Shalu becomes angry with Guang because he was making his problems worse instead of reducing them. But other dangerous people come to extort money from Guang and start vandalizing outside his office where he hides inside with Qin Young. Then Shalu comes with a bike to fight with them. Both of them fight a lot with these people and drive everyone away from there. They also get injured a lot, but at this moment they were with each other and they start smiling. On the other hand, we see Bai Lan. She was also leaving the university, where she first packs her luggage. When she leaves from there, she clicks her photo with Shalu while roaming in the evening. She also tears it and throws it away, becoming very emotional. Afterward, we see that Shalu's mom's surgery was successful, and she was recovering well. She was sitting in the hospital singing a song, which Shalu hears and comes inside. He tells his mother that now he is absolutely safe. Shalu's mother becomes very happy and tells him that now he is handsome and the best. She requests him to talk to the doctor about her discharge tomorrow because she was very upset after staying in the hospital and wanted to go home. She forcefully gets up and starts going out, and Dad also takes care of her here and then takes her out for a walk. On the other side, we see Bai Lan, who has now decided to leave Shanghai, but she tries one last time to find a job as a translator. She meets a ship manager, but the manager refuses to hire her as a translator. She says that all the male workers work on the ship and it would not be right for her to work there. Hearing this, Bai Lan tells her that she will do any work, but the manager refuses because there is no such requirement there. That is why Bai Lan starts leaving from there, but then the manager changes her mind. Bai Lan explains to the manager, making her very happy. The manager gives her a chance and says that she will be put on trial for 10 days, and if she performs well, she will get a permanent job. Meanwhile, Shalu's mom comes home. She is an old friend of hers. While wearing the sweater, she remembers that it was gifted to her by Shalu's dad. Here, Dad reminds Mom that he wore this sweater in a singing competition when both of them worked in the factory. He tries to find a photo of the same memory. Dad goes to his room while Mom climbs on a stool to take down a suitcase, which had many certificates of Shalu, but it suddenly falls down. At the same time, Shalu and Young also come there. When they come together to wake up Mom, Mom just makes an excuse that she is weak because she was lying on the hospital bed for so many days. Young now feeds Mom the food prepared by her own hands so that she can recover. Shalu's mom explains to him that it is not necessary for him to keep roaming here and there because of Bai Lan, as there are still very good girls like Young and Fuching. She likes Young a lot, but because Young now knows that Shalu does not like her, she makes it clear to Mom that both of them are like brother and sister, and it is nothing as she is thinking. She says that once again they made a mistake and then makes both of them hold hands, asking them to take care of each other very well like brother and sister. Shaw also gets treated well by his dad. His dad becomes very emotional after seeing all this and asks her to take care. He was looking at the same photo of Shaw's mom crying, which he was looking for. On the other side, we see Balin sitting in a meeting with the manager, where they were talking about the fact that their ships have not started yet, while the crowd of food and customers was coming there. Hearing this, Balin gets an idea and tells the solution to this problem. She can go to Hong Kong and contact the K-Shape agency for their help. The manager likes this idea and gives this work to Balin, stating that if she does the work well, she will get a permanent position. Now, the girls working there start feeling jealous of Balin. Sen now comes from here to Young, who had started going on blind dates to find a good boy. Chan forbade him from going on blind dates. She explains that she is very beautiful and can get boys without going on dates. However, she tells Ingo that she is a weirdo and why she is having so much trouble she should just take care of herself. But Chan doesn't accept this. He is a feelingless poor guy who can't say anything in front of her, and Young doesn't give him a chance to say anything. When Young goes on a date, Chan secretly follows her. He sees that the boy whom Young had gone to meet was insulting her a lot, saying that Young Na is not thin or beautiful and knows nothing other than cooking, so she is not perfect for him. Hearing this, Jane gets very angry at that boy. He comes forward and tells that boy that he is not worthy of being with Young because she is very intelligent and talented. He even throws water on that boy's face, causing the poor guy to get beaten up a bit. When these guys come out of there, Young yells at him, asking why he was following her and why he took such a stand for her. She ends up hitting him. Chan says he just wants to help her, and if she wants, he can support her. Hearing this, Young suddenly starts feeling shy and runs away, after which we see Balin. She stays in the storeroom of the agency all night because she had no place to stay. The next day, Balin makes a deal with the Hong Kong agency for her ship agency. However, she is called to the manager's office because the manager had come to know that Balin had been expelled from the university on charges of theft. Seeing this, the manager tells her that she liked her very much but cannot hire someone with a bad past. Balin is fired. The rest of the girls at the agency check Balin's suitcase to see what else she has stolen. They come to know that she is an orphan. Balin angrily shouts at them, asking what else they want to check, making them all leave. The girl who exposed Balin comes and tells her that she did all this because there was only one vacant post of permanent employee in the office, which she had been working hard for, and Balin came suddenly and wanted to snatch that post from her. For her, the post was very important. Balin gets very frustrated after hearing this and becomes very emotional after seeing Shalo's animal cracker in her bag. She starts crying because she had no option left and was missing Shalo a lot. Sen comes to Shawwal, where his mother's health had suddenly deteriorated. He was calling the factory to send a car, but the director refuses the security department to send the car and keeps the keys himself. Due to this delay, Shaw's mom dies before they reach the hospital, making Shaw and his dad very upset. Everyone is very sad. Gavin, coming to the hospital with Shinjan, sees Ding with the factory car and understands that Ding did this deliberately. The next day, Gavin files a complaint against him at the police station, stating that Ding used the factory's health insurance money for himself and made irregularities in the accounts. The police arrest Ding, making him very angry. But now he could not do anything. The factory is free from Ding, and Guan goes to Shaw's house, where his mom's funeral was held. There he hugs Shaw, because he knew Shaw was very worried. After everyone leaves, Shaw's dad looks at a photo of his mother and sings the same song Shaw's mother had sung in a singing competition. Shalu remembers his mother carrying a suitcase. He takes down the suitcase, which contains Shalu's clothes and her brewery certificate, which she saved from a theater fire. Seeing this, Shalu and his dad cry a lot because his mom was very happy and proud of Shalu, who was very brave and good. Shalu starts crying even more, feeling guilty for not being with his mother in her final moments. He promises his dad that he will not leave them. His dad explains that he is not a bad person, and his mom always praised him as their beloved child. The next day, we see Chana leaving Fujing City to become a singer. He was always afraid to tell his dreams, fearing his friends would make fun of him. But Shalu and Guan wish him the best of luck, promising to attend his first concert. As Chen starts to board the ship, Young comes and asks why he was leaving without telling her. Chen tries to say something but can't, so he tells Shan about his feelings, saying he likes her very much. She gives him her scarf and says she will wait for him to come back. They hug each other, and Guan tells Shalu that now only Shalu is single among them. Shalu says he will focus on his dreams and studies. Guan encourages him, saying they will make a good future. The episode ends here. So guys, this was today's video. I hope you liked it. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. See you again in the next episode of this drama. Till then, goodbye.